What is and what is not this life? What expectations should we have and not have of this life? What is true and what is false about what I believe about the world and life? How can I have an honest, balanced and realistic expectation of life? The book of Ecclesiastes abundantly answers these questions, and it is of the entire Bible, the book that speaks to us most directly about the life of man in this world, with examples and arguments from our visible world, drawn from the journey of life itself. Not appealing to theological arguments so much as to experiential, rational and even practical ones, Ecclesiastes addresses us with an irresistible invitation, namely to get to know this world and life exactly as it is, with all its dramas and challenges, but also with all its joys and splendours. For this, the great sage, the ecclesiastic, that is, the preacher and the greatest of the assembly, dismantles the 10 main human myths about the world and life. Only by unmasking them, man can gain access to wisdom, to a balanced vision of the world and life, the only one that will save him from unnecessary disappointments, that will prepare him for the exams of life, and help him live in the truth validated by God himself. Here are the 10 myths debunked by the wise Solomon himself. Number 1. The myth to remain forever in history. Many people try to fulfill their need for eternal meaning by deluding themselves that through their achievements they will be immortalized in the history of mankind. Ecclesiastes states as clearly as possible that no one will remember us, and this because no one has really known us. Not even our friends, but what about those who will live 100 years from now and have never met us? They may mention our name, but no one will remember us in our true identity. Our love, our hatred, our strife, the deep turmoil of our soul will die with us. Number 2. The myth of a good and beautiful world. Many young people have beautiful thoughts about the world. They want to fulfill their own dreams, and therefore the world must be a good and beautiful place. Evil and suffering should be exceptions, but what primarily characterizes the world is goodness and beauty. For Ecclesiastes, the world lies in wickedness. Injustice reigns over the entire world. People are corrupt. Suffering abounds over humanity, and mischief is the primary motivation for human actions. He does not believe in man-made justice, but is aware that iniquity reigns in the appointed place of judgment, and that the chain of corruption starts from the local judge and reaches the throne of the emperor. Number 3. The myth of changing the world. But if the world is so bad, the meaning of existence might matter in trying to change the world. Thus, some people try to fulfill their need for meaning by trying to change the world. Thus, they place themselves in the line of heroes who traverse history and through whom the world will truly be changed for the better. The old wish to make the world a better place. The ecclesiastic accepts that small changes can be made, and that, for example, a good emperor is a blessing to a country. But as regards the world as a whole, he is aware that it will, in its essence, remain as evil and crooked. The changes that will occur will be frictions on the wooden leg, but the whole will not be able to be changed because under the sun, what is crooked cannot be straightened, and what is missing cannot be counted. Biblical revelation completes this thesis with the great truth that only Christ, through his first and second comings, will be the only one who will truly and profoundly and fully change the world for the better. Number 4. The myth that the righteous will only do well in this life. A powerful myth in the heart of religious is that if you do good, you will generally receive only good and be spared by evil and painful events. It was often believed that the Lord would protect the good from troubles which he would save only for the sinner. Ecclesiastes tells us plainly that he has seen evil men who live happy and with no troubles, and righteous people who experience great sufferings and difficulties. Trouble befalls the good and the bad alike. If you do good, this fact does not guarantee that you will receive only good and that you will be free from suffering. Number 5, the myth of will. If you really want, you will succeed. There is that myth that if you have a dream and persevere in fulfilling it, you will finally fulfill it. If you really want to, you can. Man is strong, and thus by his own strength he will succeed in achieving the desired success. The ecclesiastic is amused by such humanistic theories. He proves that success does not depend so much on what a person does and his capabilities, but on times and circumstances. Yes, It is possible for some to achieve success, but only some, and that primarily due to favourable circumstances. A man's achievements in life have more to do with context than what he is or does, and these circumstances are often unpredictable. Number 6. The myth of knowing, of understanding the meaning of things under the sun. Many people believe that they can understand phenomena in their depth and that they can capture the meaning of things under the sun. They build all kinds of theories through which they try to understand the world and then predict its future. Ecclesiastes assures us that no one can fathom the meaning of things. We can catch a few things, but life is so complex that no one will be able to understand its profound significance. As proof, no one can even predict his own future. He states that life, reduced to what is under the sun, has no meaning. All that man does is futility. Man cannot discover his purpose under the sun. Number 7. The myth that moral actions have no consequences. Some people, in order to sin in peace, deny the negative consequences of their transgressions. Ecclesiastes urges us not to get drunk with cold water. Just like the physical universe has precise, implacable laws, so does the moral, social and spiritual. Our actions, words and even thoughts impact both us and those around us. Number 8. The myth of a life of trouble. Some people, disillusioned with life, tend to see it only in black. They see only trouble, hardship and suffering in the future. Ecclesiastes teaches us that there is a day of misfortune, but also a day of happiness, and a time for weeping, but also a time for laughter. Life is made up of both pleasant and less pleasant experiences. Our myths take us to one extreme or another. Ecclesiastes is mature, realistic, and calls us to balance. Number 9. The myth that you can't change anything. Disappointed that they could not change the world, some people conclude that nothing can be changed. Ecclesiastes assures us that even this extreme is not according to the truth. Our actions have an impact on the world around us, even if it is limited, and only sometimes has clearer, more visible effects. Thus, sometimes the wisdom of a poor man can save a city, and a good king is more desirable to a country than a mad one. We can't change the world, but we can still change something in it. Number 10. The myth of chaos and nihilism. Ecclesiastes recognizes that circumstances play an essential role and that under the sun there are injustices. But he does not agree with the theory of chance, of nothingness, and that nothing really matters. He believes that behind the chaos under the sun there is an order of things and someone who maintains a balance in the world and in life. He also believes that there is more good under the sun and that there are things that can make a difference. Relationships, being frugal with material things, and walking in righteousness and wisdom. Neither chaos nor nothingness reigns under the sun, despite the apparent disorder that he does not deny. It is time for conclusions. From the myths dismantled above, we notice the tendency of our being towards extremes. We are either at the extreme of an overly optimistic vision of the world and life, or at the extreme of an overly pessimistic vision. But we thank God that through the book of Ecclesiastes, he gives us such an honest and balanced view of life, and thus gives us the chance to become wiser and to know how to live this life. And a great surprise of the book is that by proclaiming the futility of life, the author does not want us to become disgusted with life, but on the contrary, to be able to rediscover it and to live it fully and with maximum joy. But we will talk about deciphering this paradox in another video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment and share.